Article 517 does not specifically mandate rigid metal conduit, or RMC, for conduits embedded in concrete within patient care areas. However, it's crucial to consult Section 347.9, which outlines wiring methods prohibited in healthcare facilities. Since rigid metal conduit is not included in this list of prohibited methods, its use is permissible, although not explicitly required. Regarding the concern about rigid metal conduit disintegration, it's essential to understand that rigid metal conduit is designed for durability and is less susceptible to damage compared to flexible metal conduit, or FMC, for example. Furthermore, Section 517.13c stipulates that all metal raceways and fittings installed in patient care areas must be of an approved type. This signifies that the rigid metal conduit used must be specifically listed for use in such environments and must be installed according to the manufacturer's guidelines. Proper installation and maintenance of rigid metal conduit provide a safe and effective method for redundant grounding within patient care areas. Considering the complexities of electrical installations in patient care areas, a comprehensive understanding of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is essential for electrical engineers, electricians, and facility managers. The NEC provides a framework for safe electrical practices to minimize the risk of electrical hazards in healthcare settings. Article 517 specifically addresses healthcare facilities and outlines the requirements for electrical systems in these environments. It covers various aspects such as wiring methods, grounding, and essential electrical systems. Now delving into the specifics of conduit selection for patient care areas, it is important to understand the purpose and function of different types of conduits. Conduit serves as a protective pathway for electrical conductors, safeguarding them from physical damage, moisture, and other environmental factors. The NEC recognizes various types of conduits, each with its own set of characteristics and applications. Some common types include rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, flexible metal conduit, and rigid polyvinyl chloride conduit. Rigid metal conduit is a heavy-duty conduit made of steel or aluminum. It provides excellent mechanical protection and is suitable for both indoor and outdoor applications. Intermediate metal conduit is a lighter-weight version of rigid metal conduit. It offers similar protection, but is easier to bend and install. Electrical metallic tubing is a thin-walled conduit made of steel or aluminum. It is commonly used for indoor applications where mechanical protection is not a primary concern. Flexible metal conduit is a flexible conduit made of steel or aluminum. It is used for connecting equipment that vibrates or moves, or for routing conductors around obstacles. Rigid polyvinyl chloride conduit is a non-metallic conduit made of polyvinyl chloride. It is resistant to corrosion and is suitable for underground and wet locations. When selecting conduit for patient care areas, it is important to consider the specific requirements of Article 517, as well as the environmental conditions and the level of mechanical protection required. Now focusing on grounding, a critical aspect of electrical safety in patient care areas. It involves creating a low-impedance path for fault currents to flow back to the source, thereby minimizing the risk of electrical shock. Article 517 outlines specific requirements for grounding in healthcare facilities, including the use of a separate grounding conductor and the bonding of all metal enclosures and equipment. Redundant grounding refers to the practice of providing multiple grounding paths to ensure that a fault current can always find a low impedance path back to the source. This is particularly important in patient care areas, where electrical equipment is often in close proximity to patients. Rigid metal conduit can serve as an effective grounding conductor when properly installed and bonded. However, it is important to ensure that the conduit is continuous and that all fittings are properly tightened to maintain a low impedance path. In addition to rigid metal conduit, other grounding methods can be used in patient care areas, such as a separate grounding conductor run in the conduit or a ground busbar. It is important to select the appropriate grounding method based on the specific requirements of the installation and to ensure that all grounding connections are properly made. The NEC also addresses the issue of essential electrical systems in healthcare facilities. Essential electrical systems are those systems that are necessary for the safe and effective operation of the facility, such as lighting, life support equipment, and fire alarm systems. Article 517 outlines specific requirements for essential electrical systems, including the use of an emergency power source and the separation of essential and non-essential circuits. When selecting conduit for essential electrical systems, it is important to choose a conduit that is suitable for the environmental conditions and that provides adequate mechanical protection. In addition, it is important to ensure that the conduit is properly grounded to minimize the risk of electrical shock. Now talking about the installation requirements, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and to use approved fittings and connectors. Conduit should be properly supported and secured to prevent damage or displacement. In addition, conduit should be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner to ensure that it is safe and reliable. It is also important to inspect conduit regularly for signs of damage or corrosion. Damaged or corroded conduit should be replaced immediately to prevent electrical hazards. Regular maintenance of electrical systems in patient care areas is essential for ensuring the safety of patients and staff. Maintenance should include inspecting conduit, grounding connections, and essential electrical systems. Any problems should be addressed promptly to prevent electrical hazards. In conclusion, selecting conduit for patient care areas requires a thorough understanding of Article 517 of the NEC as well as the environmental conditions and the level of mechanical protection required. Rigid metal conduit is a permissible wiring method in patient care areas, but it is not required. Proper installation and maintenance of conduit are essential for ensuring the safety of patients and staff. It's important to note that while rigid metal conduit offers robust protection, other wiring methods deemed suitable and compliant with NEC standards can be employed. The decision often hinges on specific project requirements, cost considerations, and the expertise of the electrical contractor. One must consider the potential for corrosion in certain environments. While rigid metal conduit is typically coated to resist corrosion, it may still be susceptible in highly corrosive environments. In such cases, alternative conduit materials like rigid polyvinyl chloride or coated rigid metal conduit might be more appropriate. When embedding conduit in concrete, it's crucial to ensure proper concrete coverage to protect the conduit from moisture and corrosion. The NEC specifies minimum concrete cover requirements for different types of conduits. Proper expansion joints should also be considered to accommodate thermal expansion and contraction of the conduit and concrete. Regarding redundant grounding, it's important to understand that the NEC emphasizes the importance of a low impedance ground fault path. While rigid metal conduit can contribute to this, it's not the sole means of achieving it. Supplemental grounding conductors, properly sized and connected, are often necessary to ensure adequate grounding. The NEC provides guidelines for sizing grounding conductors based on the size of the overcurrent protection device. Now getting into the types of patient care areas, the NEC classifies patient care areas into different categories based on the level of risk associated with electrical equipment. These categories include general care areas, critical care areas, and wet locations. General care areas are those where patients are not typically subjected to invasive procedures or life support equipment. Critical care areas are those where patients are subjected to invasive procedures or life support equipment. Wet locations are those where patients are frequently exposed to moisture, such as hydrotherapy areas. The requirements for electrical systems in patient care areas vary depending on the category of the area. For example, critical care areas require more stringent grounding and bonding requirements than general care areas. When selecting conduit for patient care areas, it is important to consider the category of the area and to choose a conduit that meets the specific requirements for the area. Also, consider the potential for electromagnetic interference. Electrical equipment in patient care areas can generate electromagnetic interference that can interfere with the operation of other equipment. In some cases, it may be necessary to use shielded conduit to reduce electromagnetic interference. Shielded conduit is a type of conduit that has a metallic shield around it to block electromagnetic radiation. The shield is typically made of copper or aluminum. When selecting shielded conduit, it is important to ensure that the shield is properly grounded to prevent the buildup of static electricity. Considering future expansion, healthcare facilities often undergo renovations and expansions. It's prudent to plan for future electrical needs during the initial design and installation. This may involve installing spare conduits or oversizing existing conduits to accommodate future wiring. Proper documentation of the electrical system is also essential for future maintenance and modifications. Complete and accurate drawings and specifications can save time and money when making changes to the electrical system. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Healthcare facilities should implement comprehensive electrical safety programs that include training for staff, regular inspections, and prompt repairs. By working together, healthcare professionals, electricians, and facility managers can create a safe electrical environment for patients and staff. Furthermore, consider the use of isolated power systems. In critical care areas, isolated power systems are often used to reduce the risk of electrical shock. An isolated power system consists of an isolation transformer that isolates the electrical system from ground. This prevents fault currents from flowing through the patient, reducing the risk of electrical shock. When using an isolated power system, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and to ensure that the system is properly grounded. Furthermore, consider the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. Ground fault circuit interrupters are devices that detect ground faults and interrupt the circuit. They are commonly used in wet locations and other areas where there is a high risk of electrical shock. When using a ground fault circuit interrupter, it is important to test it regularly to ensure that it is working properly. It is also important to use a ground fault circuit interrupter that is specifically listed for use in healthcare facilities. As a summary, conduit selection in patient care areas requires careful consideration of various factors, including the NEC requirements, environmental conditions, the level of mechanical protection required, and the category of the patient care area. Rigid metal conduit is a permissible wiring method, but it is not always required. Proper installation and maintenance of conduit are essential for ensuring the safety of patients and staff. Beyond the physical aspects of conduit and wiring, consider the administrative and regulatory environment. Healthcare facilities are subject to inspections by various regulatory agencies, such as the Joint Commission and state health departments. These agencies often review electrical safety practices to ensure compliance with applicable codes and standards. Staying informed about the latest regulations and guidelines is essential for maintaining a safe electrical environment in patient care areas. Reviewing industry best practices and participating in continuing education can help healthcare professionals, electricians, and facility managers stay up to date on the latest developments in electrical safety. Collaboration and communication are key to ensuring electrical safety in patient care areas. Regular meetings and discussions among healthcare professionals, electricians, and facility managers can help identify potential hazards and develop effective solutions. Open communication channels can also facilitate prompt reporting of electrical problems and ensure that they are addressed quickly. In high-risk areas, such as operating rooms and intensive care units, consider the use of uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs. Uninterruptible power supplies provide backup power in the event of a power outage. This can be critical for maintaining essential equipment and preventing disruptions in patient care. When selecting an uninterruptible power supply, it is important to choose a unit that is sized appropriately for the load and that has sufficient battery backup time. It is also important to test the uninterruptible power supply regularly to ensure that it is working properly. Remote power panels are another consideration. In some cases, it may be beneficial to use remote power panels in patient care areas. Remote power panels allow electrical circuits to be controlled and monitored from a central location. This can be helpful for managing electrical loads and for troubleshooting problems. When using remote power panels, it is important to ensure that they are properly labeled and that they are accessible to authorized personnel. Think about surge protection too. Electrical surges can damage sensitive electronic equipment in patient care areas. Surge protection devices can help protect equipment from damage by diverting surge currents to ground. When selecting surge protection devices, it is important to choose devices that are rated appropriately for the voltage and current levels in the area. It is also important to install surge protection devices at multiple points in the electrical system to provide comprehensive protection. Regarding the selection of electrical boxes and fittings, it is essential to use boxes and fittings that are specifically listed for use in healthcare facilities. These boxes and fittings are designed to minimize the risk of electrical shock and to provide a secure connection for electrical conductors. It is also important to use boxes and fittings that are compatible with the type of conduit being used. Considering the layout and design of patient care areas, it is important to design the electrical system to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. This includes locating electrical outlets and equipment away from wet areas and ensuring that all electrical equipment is properly grounded. It is also important to provide adequate lighting in patient care areas to prevent accidents.